Hi, this is Lee, Learning with Lee. Um, we're going to try and get back to our war game today. We've gotten off the game looking at for loops and arrays, and today we're going to look at for loops and arrays in my code for this game. So I use this for the cards. So it says first player has 26 cards, second player has 26 cards. I draw cards. It just does it really fast all at once, and it's not all at once, but it feels like all at once in the mind of the computer. First player wins, so they get the cards. So the first player now has 27 cards because this was already their card, and then they have one. They gained one new card, so they have 27. They lost a card, so they have 25. So these cards are being held in arrays. It's a list of all the cards, all the possible cards. So let's look at that. How I make that. So here's making the cards right here. That's what's happening. Okay, now it's a little tricky, but let's look here what we're making. So we're pushing J. So we're creating cards push J. So into cards we're pushing these arrays. So here's cards up here. It's declared, the variable cards is declared as an empty array. Okay, so we're pushing cards into it. So it starts out empty, and in the end there's going to be 52 cards, hopefully, right? Because there should be 52 cards in a deck. So what are we putting there? Each card is its own little array of two things. The first is going to be 1 through ace through king, or 1 through 13. And then K, the I and K are just meaningless. They're just little placeholder variables. I, J, K, they don't mean, they're not really representing anything. Just for the loop, something to run through. It's just traditional to use those variables. So K is the suit. So every card is its own little list. It's a listing, the number and the suit. So I'm just using numbers to represent these. 1 through 4. It's going to start with 1, and it's going to stop at 4. You could do 0 to 4, but it's just easier for my brain to say 1 through 13. 1 is ace, 2 is 2, 3 is 3. If we go 0 to 13, you can end up with the same thing, but it's more complicated in some ways. Okay, so for I equals 1, let's start there. So I is now 1. And then we put the bracket. So while I equals 1, we're going to do this thing. So what we're going to do, K equals 1. Well, K equals 1, do this thing. We're going to say J is this little array with two things in it, and the array is 1, 1. And then it's going to put this little array list, this card, this represents one card, we're going to put that in the array cards. So it's going to be, cards 0 would equal this array 1, 1, which would be, I don't know what I have 1 equal to in the code. So that could be like ace of hearts or something. Okay, and then we're right here. So now I is still 1, but K is now going to be added to 1 more, and now K is going to equal 2. So now J is going to equal 1, 2. So the next card getting put into the array of cards. The second card in the list is going to be 1, 2. So that could be, the ace of clubs or something, the ace of diamonds. So cards 1 now is going to equal 1, 2. And the length of cards is now 2. 2 things in it. Okay, so I still 1, and now K is going to equal 3, then K is going to equal 4. And then we're done with that. So this ends. Right, K equals 5, so this ends. So now it comes back out here. I is now going to increase and be 2. So while I is 2, K's 1, 2, 3, 4. Put them in here. Those are all the 2 cards. So that's 2 of hearts, 2 of diamonds, 2 of clubs, 2 of spades. And then we're done. K equals 5, so this doesn't keep running. So we get out of this bracket set. We go back up here. I equals 3. So in that way you're getting all the cards. And you can test that. And then, like we were writing to, this practice is still there. We're writing to that practice section I put on the page to, oops, I didn't put quotes. That coloring, see, it was gray. It's like, ooh, something's wrong there. There, it's green. That looks better. HTML, we could write cards length and run that, and it's outside the picture. 52. So that's how you make the cards. Okay, it's for loops and arrays work really well together, because an array is a list, and for, you can just enumerate through the list. The first thing in the list, the second thing in the list, the third thing in the list. It can run you through that. So I guess we'll stop there. I don't want to. I guess we'll go ahead and stop there. You should play with that before we go farther. Next time we're still going to be doing, working with this array, the cards arrays. We have to make the different player. We're going to shuffle the deck. You can see the word shuffle here. We're going to shuffle the deck and then divide it in half. Let's do that in the next lesson. So you can play with this, try and create it yourself. With anything, you can just type your own whatever here. And then even try something inside, and then write to the page, to the HTML, write, something like cards 2-1 or my list 2-1. Remember, when you're calling it up, call it like this, 2021. Write that to the HTML and see if it's what you expect it to be. All right, try and predict what it's going to be and see if what you expect is coming up. If it's not, try and find what you're expecting and get it to come on the page. So it's a good thing to practice with. And then we will continue with arrays in the next lesson with our card game. And a reminder that you can, see and copy this code from the blog website.